let's get rid of my blonde hair. There will be results at the end of this video because I don't like it. But to get rid of it, in order to get back to my natural hair color and also keep as many gray as possible, because I have a lot of natural gray that I want to keep, that's very, very important to me. It's not to others, so like if you don't want to keep your grays and you want to cover them, the only thing you'll switch out is using a demi or a permanent hair color, so you actually get coverage over your grays. And maybe like a stronger developer. But for me, I am just I'm completely self-taught, okay, by the way. So if you're following this tutorial, know that I am not a licensed cosmetologist. We have to fill this, because of the level it is, with colors that aren't in it anymore. Otherwise, we dye over it, it's gonna turn like purple or green. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm using a 6 volume developer. The lower volume developer you use, the better, because on light hair, when you use a higher volume developer, it lifts the hair, and we don't need to lift this. And it's a 2-to-1 ratio, meaning 2 parts developer, 1 part dye. Wow, it's strong. So if we go over this with just black, it won't fill correctly because of color theory. And I don't know if the why is important to you guys, but I know like sometimes it's important to me to understand. And the way that I'm going to blend this into the rest of my hair is with a gloss. And the black gloss will cover and look good for about 4 to 6 weeks. A gloss is not permanent. It is very much semi-permanent. It is very much just like a placeholder. Black gloss, if this won't cover my grays. That's the point for me. There may come a time where I need to go in and fill this some more in 4 to 6 weeks. Like I said, if that time comes, I'll do it then. But for now, I just need to get this blonde out of my hair. Okay, here she is, nice and much redder than I thought she would. So we're gonna shampoo and wash her out in the sink really quick now. It's been about 25 minutes. It says to process it 30 to 45, depending on if you want gray coverage. And again, I don't need gray coverage. This is what she looks like. The red bangs might actually look kind of cool. What do we think? Yeah, absolutely not. But now that we have this warmth on here and this blonde is filled, the black will take as it needs to. Here's the thing. It will cover my grays. It like stains them or tints them like a level or shade darker for probably 3 or 4 washes. And so you can see my grays aren't very long because I covered them before my wedding. But in here, like where there's less dye, they're a bit longer. For this, no, it's not permanent. Yes, you do need to get your hair wet, so get your hair wet. Hair wet, gloves going on. And you know what? I couldn't find a single video on the internet that was compiled into one of how to be able to not only get your blonde to be filled and go back dark, but how to blend it into your natural color, because people aren't doing what I did a lot, if that makes sense. And I was just, it felt less like me than I thought it would and a little immature. It used to be something I had when I had red hair, and it just isn't fitting for me anymore, and that's okay. This part's quite simple. You just mix the solution in with the clear solution. Notice how that's purple? Guess what color my blonde would be if I hadn't done the red first. Do I actually know that this will work? Absolutely not. I actually have no clue, but I hate the blonde so much that I'm okay looking like this than I was with the blonde at that point. I'm going to very gently brush it out. She's on my head. Here's what she looks like wet. I'm gonna go put product in her, dry her, and we'll come back. So it turned out better than I could have expected. You cannot tell that I was blonde earlier today in any regard, in any way, shape, or form. In my personal, humble opinion, I think it looks really good. And as far as like gray coverage goes, I do still have my grays peeking through, and even more of them will start to peek through as this starts to fade, and we'll see how it does when it starts to fade on my actual blonde piece. But yeah, this is the true black color. I'd go down a shade to the chocolate if you don't want it this dark, but I really like the contrast and I feel much more me, and I know I'm gonna feel even more me tomorrow when like the hair dye line disappears and fades.